Today's episode is for every author who has ever bought a planner, opened it twice, and then used it as a coaster, right? Like we've all done that. Welcome back to the Authors Allies podcast, where we blend strategy, soul, and a little sparkle to help indie authors market their books without losing their minds or their magic. I'm Rebecca, and we are doing something deliciously practical today. We are talking about annual planning and goal setting for authors. Because here's what I see every year. Most writers fall into one of two camps. We either have the over planners who map out every single second and burn out by February, or we have the under planners who keep waiting for the right time, and then the next thing you know, it's December again. The goal isn't perfection. It's finding a workable rhythm for you. So here's the big message I want you to take away today. There's no single right system for planning your year. The best planning tool is the one you're actually going to use. If you try something and you never look at it again, it wasn't the wrong you, it was the wrong tool. So today I'm going to give you a little menu of options, a look back worksheet, a practical vision board, a fun bingo board, a word of the year, and a simple quarterly and weekly structure. You don't need to do them all. You get to mix and match and customize based on your brain, your season of life, and your publishing path. Whether you're traditional, indie, hybrid, all of it, we've got something for you. Grab your coffee, open your notes app, or pull out a handy dandy notebook, and let's build a plan you'll actually want to come back to this year. So, like I said a few minutes ago, most writers either overplan and burn out, or they underplan and find themselves drifting through the year. Consider this your permission slip. Experimentation is allowed. Neurodiverse brains need flexible tools. Different seasons of life change what realistic might look like for you. And sometimes your publishing path itself may need to have differently placed timelines and priorities. No matter what type of planning system you use for the year, it is non-negotiable to have the starting point of looking back and doing a little bit of an audit. So the first thing you need to do is you need to take a look at what worked in the past year. What things did you do that you felt like worked out? What didn't work out? What felt joyful and fun versus what did you do that felt heavy and you really did not enjoy doing it? So keep what actually worked. That's what we're going to be looking at for this year, right? And then you're going to want to drop or adjust the things that created stress and didn't really have a payoff, okay? Just remember, your past year is just data. It's not any sort of moral report card. Now, once you do that, then you have some options as to what you want to do next. Some people just take those notes and they write out what they want to do for the year, and boom, there you go. That's your plan. Other people like to have some fun with vision boards. You can cut things out in a magazine like Old School. You can pull up a really cool little template in Canva. I'm going to share some of those with you. And I'll also share on the screen here some pictures of what my vision board looks like. You can add your writing sessions, word counts, launches, whatever feels fun to put on there, right? You can use Pinterest as well. Sometimes people will go into Pinterest and they'll create a board and then they'll just pin all sorts of things on it that they like. And that turns out really cool. You can also just have a simple folder of images on your phone. So what you want to do, if you're a vision board person, you want to either print it out or have it as your desktop wallpaper or your phone lock screen. And this way you want to have it where you actually write. You want to have it where you're going to be able to see it, right? That's kind of the whole point of a vision board, so that you have vision of it. A lot of people recently started doing bingo boards, and this is a really fun way to gamify your goals, right? So a bingo board is just a 5x5 grid of small specific actions. Things like write 1,000 words today, email your list, update your back matter, pitch a podcast. The trick to the bingo board is that you're going to kind of mix the difficulty. So one section might be easy wins. There might be another section of some squares that feel a little stretchier. This is where you're going to have regular dopamine and real growth mixed in together. This is really helpful for people with ADHD or when you have a motivation slump, because it feels more like a game and not like a rigid schedule. So another thing you might do if you have a bingo board is you might come up with some rewards for yourself. Maybe you have a prize of going out to dinner or ordering pizza if you get a line. If you have a blackout prize, maybe you get to go on a really cool vacation. Use whatever works for you. I've also seen people do themed rows, like maybe you have, here's your marketing row, here's a writing row, here's a rest row. You can draft a bingo that is all about finishing your next book. You can have an author business bingo, which specifically is going to have tasks for your newsletter, your website, your backlist. You can also have a well-being bingo, which is going to be walks, breaks, friend time, sleep. Yes, sleep does count. So taking your goals and putting them into a bingo card not only makes it fun, it makes it a little more motivational as a general rule, right? And so if that is something that's going to help you more in order to maybe compete with yourself, or you could gather a few friends and compete with each other, that's possibly the way to go for you. Another thing that a lot of people will do, either in combination or on its own with this, is to just pick a word of the year. Sometimes there are people I've heard of choosing quarterly words, monthly words, weekly words, a daily word. Whatever works for you is a great way to do it. I'm going to also put some words of the year into the notes. So I'm going to have a little downloadable that you can get from the notes that's going to have some really fun things according to all of what we're talking about today. So with the word of the year, maybe finish, expand, nourish, bold, calm. Whatever you need to do to filter your decisions. Does this support my word of the year? Does this distract me? If you're using word of the year with a vision board or a bingo, you could put it on your vision board. You can include it as part of your bingo theme. Maybe your word of the year is the bingo card. You can also do quarterly mini focus ideas. For instance, quarter one, maybe your goal is to do your draft. Quarter two, your goal is to revise. Quarter three is to launch, and maybe quarter four is just to rest and prep. So you're going to adjust this based on your release schedule and your energy. So again, a word of the year or a quarterly focus as a simple anchor is another easy way to go when it comes to planning out your goals for the year. Now, one thing that is helpful as well when it comes to execution without the overwhelm is if you kind of take your dreams and you convert them into a loose plan. By that, I mean, think along the lines of looking at your annual dream as a big picture, right? So maybe it's, I am going to launch my book by the end of 2026, which means now when it comes to loose plan, then we're going to go, okay, well, in quarter one, my main focus is XYZ, right? And then you would also list a few supporting tasks for that. You may also be a person who might want to then break it down weekly. So it really depends on what works best for you. So the point is, when it comes to the annual planning and you start hearing everyone talk about their word of the year, their goals, their bingo boards, their vision boards, the workshops that we all are going to be doing with our memberships and things, the important thing to remember the most is that you do not need to do all of these things. You can mix them and match them and just do what works for you. Now, for me, I really do a combination of all of these things. The reason I do that is that I need different things at different times. I either have an ADHD brain or I have menopause brains, kind of still to be determined yet. But there are times when I need to be really drilling down and focusing, so much so that I need to have a to-do list every single day. But there are other times when I'm just kind of leaning into the creativity and the flow, where just looking at that vision board makes me feel happy and content. And I look at it and I see my why right there in front of my face. And that's all I need to start kicking some butt. Other times I need to compete with myself. And that's where the bingo board comes in and it gets to be a little more fun. I did all of those things last year and it really helped. I had not done the bingo board before. That was the first time I did that. And it was just kind of a fun little thing. And a couple weeks ago, I pulled it out and I looked at it. I had it kind of right next to me here all year. And I'm like, I did pretty well. I felt really excited about that, being able to see the progress in action. Sometimes what happens is you get to the end of a year and you look back and you go, what did I accomplish this year, right? It's not always easy to see some of these things, but when you plan them out ahead of time and you have actual places that you can go and kind of check off the list, it just makes it a lot more fun and a lot more rewarding, because let's face it, being an author is difficult. Being an entrepreneur is difficult. And remember, from a few episodes back, all authors are entrepreneurs. Writing is a business. And so when it comes to your business, you get to take the opportunity to plan like the true business owner that you are. So here's the thing, whether you're using a vision board, a bingo board, word of the year, look back worksheets, remember, if it doesn't work, it's not the wrong you, it's the wrong tool. So what I challenge you to do after you listen to this episode, either create your own or feel free to go to the show notes and download my samples and worksheets for you. But pick one tool to try. Try it out for just the next month. If it works, great. Keep going with it for the rest of the year. Maybe it works and you're all excited and you want to try something else too. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, swap it if it doesn't click. There's no shame, no drama. Again, you're the boss. You're the entrepreneur. It's your business, right? So play with it. Have fun with it. Isn't that kind of why you started writing in the first place? You were having fun. You wanted to tell a story. Think of a vision board, a word of the year, a bingo. These are just additional ways to tell your story, right? Okay. Now, we are going to be back in the next couple of weeks with a really special guest. Her name is Stacy Baxley. She has something that goes really well with the planning. She is running a program called Intentional, and I'm actually a part of that for her first run here. And it's really cool because she does something where you have a different focus word every day to really help you to dial in on your intentions. And I will report back when I interview her and let you know how that goes. All right, my friend, this has been your annual planning permission slip. Here's what I want you to remember. Wrapping up, there's no single right system. The best plan is the one that fits your brain, your life, and your current writing season. So if you set something up and you never touch it again, it does not mean you're flaky or you're failing. It just means that tool wasn't the right match for you. So again, your simple next step, choose one tool, just one. Do the look back worksheet or make a vision board or create a bingo board or pick a word of the year and try it for 30 days. Keep what works, adjust when doesn't, and keep moving forward like the brilliant, stubborn, magical author that you are. If you want support like this, real-time brainstorming, accountability, and simple marketing systems you'll actually use, come hang out with us inside the Authors Allies Roundtable. We keep it practical, fun, and very you don't have to do this alone. If this episode helped, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with an author friend who needs a little structure without the stress. And if you try the bingo board or word of the year and you post something about it on social media, please tag me. I love seeing what you're creating. Thanks for spending time with me today, friends. Now go plan a year that feels doable, aligned, and kind of exciting. Let's do it. Have a great day.
That's all for this episode of Authors Allies. We hope you enjoyed our exploration of the literary world. Be sure to stay tuned for our next episode where we'll have more fascinating interviews, book reviews, and marketing tips. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform. Leave us a review and share us with a friend. To get your free copy of our ebook, 10 Steps to Your Ultimate Book Marketing Plan, be sure to head over to our show notes. Until next time, happy reading and writing.